At Center for Neighborhood Leadership, we have two basic organizing models. One is the capacity building and leadership development of community-based organizing with the rigor and structure necessary to get to a win of campaign-based organizing. And we combine these two into one simple theory of change. When you invest in an individual leader, train them in the community and campaign organizing skill sets, and help them build a vision for their community, they can in turn go to their communities, organize them under one common vision and mission, create a team that has a sense of ownership and responsibility to that mission, and in turn define the work that would have the greatest impact within their own neighborhood. And so that's what we do at Center for Neighborhood Leadership. We invest in leaders, those leaders build teams, those teams do cool shit. And so what does that look like in practice? Well, one of our leaders, her name is Norma Ramirez. And at home one day, she saw two men bust the windows of her car. She runs outside, confronts the men, they turn to her, and they basically say, "What are you going to do about it? Call the cops?" Now, Norma Ramirez, being an undocumented immigrant living in Arizona for years under a culture of fear perpetuated by some of our top leaders within this state, understands that even as a victim of a crime, the first thing police officers will ask is where her valid form of ID is. And so instead, she turns around, goes back into her house, and quietly shuts the door. Now, when Norma first approached us, we asked if she would share this with her neighborhood. And so she knocked on doors and held a meeting in her front yard. And for an hour, these neighbors talked about these common experiences. And at the end of that, they decided to form the first ever block watch of our community-oriented policing project called Familias Unidas. Familias Unidas has one basic mission. We will build a safer and cleaner neighborhood so that our children can thrive. Now, Norma had the opportunity to share this story in front of 300 potential donors, and she shared the story of transformation she saw in her neighborhood, in the park, in the sense of pride that she had on people's faces. But she also shared her own transformation about going from a place of fear to a place of power and recognizing the change she can have. And so that's when an individual builds a team. What happens when multiple teams get together? What can they do? At CNL, we have a Safe Schools Now project in partnership with the Phoenix Union High School District. It's 8 high school teams across 8 campuses that initially got together because those leaders had a transformative experience at Anytown. So for those of you who don't know, Anytown is a diversity awareness camp that was once accessible across every campus in Phoenix Union, but because of major budget cuts, were severely scaled back. Those students decided to organize an override campaign, and were so successful at convincing voters to vote yes that they not only passed Phoenix Unions, but multiple elementary school districts as well, combining in a total of $250 million of public school education funding, without which Phoenix Union was facing massive layoffs and potential school closures. Now, that's amazing in and of itself, but what's more amazing is when those students recognize how much power they had built. And I hope that you are learning and will continue to learn over the next few days all the work that has happened that's created this power and therefore created opportunity. No more opportunity exists more than here in the city of Phoenix, where we have people like Mayor Stanton and a brand new council makeup. And so what are we going to do with that opportunity? And so we got together, and CNL decided to work in coalition with over 70 organizations, and that coalition is called the One Phoenix Coalition. It's dedicated to passing a piece of city policy where the city would, in partnership with the community, issue a valid form of municipal ID, accessible to every resident regardless of their status, and include basic city services like public transportation and access to libraries. Now, this created a unique opportunity for people like Norma Ramirez to share her story and what her community needs. But more importantly, it afforded her an opportunity to learn about other communities, about other people who needed IDs, transgendered youth, homeless veterans, survivors of domestic violence. She was able to garner a depth of understanding of her community while at the same time engaged with high school students and others about what it means to create a more inclusive Phoenix. And so in doing those conversations, we're able to talk about the importance of your local dollar and supporting local businesses as a means to increase quality of life in your community. These are levels of conversation that Norma and some of these students would never have had. And we look at that and we say, we're going to pass Muni ID within the year. What's exciting is what we'll do next. Thank you so much.